Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. And as we've officially started the holiday season, I mean, it's December now, we're all looking at New Year's, Christmas, like it's right around the corner. And I've noticed that these liberals are not slowing down on posting these videos. In fact, they're ramping it up. I keep seeing more and more and more, and they're getting crazier. I'm currently working on several compilations, liberal tears, MAGA reacts, all that. But today, I got something special for you. I got one guy. Now, shout out to James Klug. If you don't know who that is, you can find him right here. Go subscribe to his channel and check out his videos. He does a lot of man on the street, in-person interviews like this, something I could never do because I would start clotheslining people. Shout out to James Klug. Thank you so much for the content. And this guy, he found a unicorn. He found this person right here that I feel like, now tell me if the comments if you agree, I feel like this guy is the #1 most delusional, brainwashed liberal that I've ever seen being interviewed in any capacity on any video, period. That's why I made this video. In the middle of making like 5 other ones, I had to share this one with you. This guy says he's a teacher too. Oh my God. I have no idea where he gets his news from, but this guy is completely 100% a lost cause. And this right here is a prime example of why you just can't talk to liberals. You can't try to bring them over to our side. You can't try to reason with them. They're so arrogant. They think they're so right on so many issues that they're so wrong about. So, I really appreciate you being here for my video. Please like this video, share it with your community. And if you like my content, consider subscribing. I'm above 25,000 subscribers right now, but I've noticed that a lot of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. Hey, it's free for you. It means the world to me. I am not going to stop. I want that play button on my wall. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And let's get to the video. All right, and I'm going to try not to stop it too much. I might stop it a few times and give my little 2 cents, but you got to watch this in its entirety.
We got the Kamala Harris merch right here.
Absolutely.
We voting for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Are you kidding? Kamala Harris.
Definitely Kamala Harris.
In the house, yes.
Why is that? Why are we voting for Kamala Harris?
Well, #1, she talks about what we've lived. I'm an educator some 40 years. And what we've lived is lifting people up, not tearing them down. And he seems to specialize in that, tearing people down. And I am the absolute opposite. and he epitomizes everything that I've stood against and everything that I've trained and worked with my students to do.
So this guy's against making America great again.
And that is to lift up one another and to achieve greatness and great heights and be told that they can always do well and do the best and do the best and be the best.
Yeah. And you guys, she's obviously been heavily involved in the Biden administration. What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as Vice President of the United States?
As Vice President of the United States, she was bold enough to go to the border and tell people to stay home. People forget that. and in fact, more so, there are a lot of people who are misinformed, and there's a lot of misinformation going around. And so let's set the record straight, if I may. And that is, Trump didn't give you a dime, people. That was the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration that gave you $2,300 and $1,500. No one else. Stop playing. This is not a game.
Hey, I got a question for you. When it comes to the border, Kamala Harris overlooking the border, telling them not to come, that is seemingly more of a sore subject when it comes to this administration. Worst border crisis in American history. And when she visited the border, she didn't visit the spot where the border crisis was happening. What are your thoughts about that? Is that something to tout for this for Kamala Harris when this is the worst border crisis in American history that we've seen under this administration? What do you think?
And more misinformation. And from you. That's funny.
Wait,
let's make it clear.
Yeah.
All right.
Clarify.
Just so you understand.
I don't think that was misinformation.
The Biden administration inherited that border crisis. You remember the one that
Wrong.
Trump said that he was going to build a big wall? I think he made it about 5 feet.
No, he had about 5 feet left. This guy that doesn't even know what a fact is.
Not just that, it was so garbage that I think I could have made it through that wall. All I had to do was just open the door. But not just that. It was also done in a situation where they were advocating, not just advocating, but they also had a bill that they were going to strengthen the border. And in fact, that bill didn't even come from them. Yeah. It came from Congress, and they were with the bill prepared to sign. They negotiated and everything else. And guess what? Donald Trump called up all his buddies and said, don't vote for it because I want them to seem like failures.
Wrong. Yeah. Oh, wait. You mean the bill that was going to allow several thousand illegal immigrants to come across our border and just become citizens and get amnesty? You mean that bill?
Failures. Guess what?
Do you mind if I ask it?
They're not. They're not failures. And in fact, when Donald Trump
how did they inherit the border crisis? If you don't mind me asking.
Refused to put out that vaccine for the coronavirus and killed some 658,000 people. My friends that I went to college with also included. When that happened, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came in office and put that vaccine out. So let's stop playing. This is not a game. And guess what? This is about lives.
Do you mind if I touch on the border crisis, though?
You tried, and I got it.
No. Wait, how did they inherit it? Yeah, how did they inherit it?
They inherited because
the border crisis.
How long have people been coming across the border?
But under Trump's administration, they were seeing a 50-year low of border crossings. It then jumped to 8 times as much. So that's a lie?
Yeah.
Why is that a lie?
Let me finish.
Flat out lie. I'm sorry.
It's actually not a lie. That's a fact.
Let's just be clear.
Your facts are lies.
During the Trump
They always say, let me be clear, and then they say a bunch of crap that's not true. I was just going to leave it on this guy, but let's finish this whole video and watch this. His wife or whoever this lady is, sister, whatever, I don't want to assume, is just as delusional as he is. He's more animated, more vocal about it, but she's just as batshit crazy. So we'll watch the rest of this.
You know where I got that fact from?
That's the reason why people don't really want to vote for Harris, because men disrespect women.
Well, ma'am, I'm just trying to get one point out.
Yeah, okay.
That's what.
He
that's
walked
it.
away.
Yeah. Okay, so please get your
During
please.
the Biden and Harris administration, they have those people who crossed the border and got separated from their children. They made sure that they got placed to where they're supposed to be, placed with their parents. Some of them were not placed because they were separated or they couldn't find their parents, but Trump didn't do that. He's the one who caused the problem. Harris is the one invited.
The separation was not Donald Trump's policy.
It happened during his administration.
It was already in place. He actually ended that by executive order.
No, he didn't end it.
The family separation?
If he ended.
You see how there's no arguing with them, there's no communicating, there's no trying to get them to see what they're wrong about. They're just arrogant. They're very confident. You're wrong, they're right, no matter what the subject. You ever notice that about liberals? They can't even say one single good thing about Trump. I'm sure if we all put our heads together, we could come up with something we like about Joe Biden. Let me think here. Okay, I got something that quick. Joe Biden, even though he may not try to be, is hilarious. I think Joe Biden is an extremely funny man. There it is. I said something nice about him. They could never bring themselves to say that about Trump. No matter what the subject is, he's wrong. He could save a family from a burning house, and they would find some way to blame him for it.
Then why are you now saying that there's a problem now? He didn't end border crisis. If that's the case, you wouldn't be saying there's a problem now.
You were just talking about family separation, and now we're talking about the border
During
crisis.
the border crisis, yes.
Okay.
Don't you remember all those families that were
Right, so
separated?
the numbers that we're seeing right now are, we've never seen numbers like this in the history of the United States.
Well, you know, people are coming across. No president have ended it. Not Trump, not Biden, not Obama, not Bush. So it's not just their problem, it's our problem.
Right.
Okay? So when are we going to do something about it?
Well,
you
I-
keep
the reason-
on presidents and stuff when they have to be.
Well, they undid policy that was working,
You know,
that we found
not
about a
necessarily.
45, 50-year
Not
low on
necessarily.
illegal crossings at the southern border.
Not necessarily.
According to Customs and Border
You have
Protection.
to understand, during that time, it's during the pandemic.
Yeah. Before that was
It
even low.
Oh yeah, during Obama's administration, yes, I'll agree with
Oh
that.
yeah, no, Obama
Yeah,
did great
yeah.
too, but Trump
Right.
did. But Trump
Right.
continued that, and they implemented effective policy that got it really under control. One would be
Well,
the
that's-
Remain in Mexico agreement.
What
It was
happened
working.
to with those families that came across and they were separated? That was not
Wait,
during.
we're talking about two different things right now, though. We're talking about the number of crossings versus family separation.
They came across. That's how they got separated.
Yeah.
Those families came across, and he separated those families.
Oh, that was the
Yeah,
Trump
yeah.
administration.
that was
did
Trump.
But that wasn't a Trump policy. He actually do you mind if I finish?
Policy.
Yeah, of course it does, because he ended family separation by executive order in 2018.
When them
So the
blacks
policy
got
was,
that border,
when you get arrested, your child doesn't go to jail with you, because if you got arrested, would your child go to jail with you?
No, but
No.
that's
It was the same thing at the
what
border.
is.
It was the same thing at the border.
It didn't occur when he separated them during that time.
What do you mean by that?
When the families were coming across, they were separated. They were treated inhumanely, and that was
Damn.
during Trump's
Which one is
administration.
it?
You mentioned inhumanely. Right now, the Biden and Harris administration has about 300,000 children that came here illegally that
Well,
are
you know-
unaccounted for. Does that seem humane?
ask you
Is that a good
something.
thing?
Only if you counted them.
Right,
I want to see
right.
your figures. Did you
I
write
want,
it down?
I want
Let me
to
see 'em.
see.
Let me see your
those
figures.
numbers
I'm
are-
sorry.
I want to see.
Those numbers are from the federal
I
government.
want to see.
Bullshit.
I want to see the videos and the videos that we the film because during
Hey, you can look it up if you like.
during Trump we saw it.
What was that, ma'am?
We saw that they were being treated humanely. Where are the people that going over there photographing that or going over there filming that? We don't see that. Anybody
You
can
would
say
describe what's
anything,
happening
just
right
like
now
the
as
vote.
humane?
Anybody who's treated unfairly is inhumane.
Yeah.
You know what?
Most deaths at the southern border
Slavery
right now?
was definitely inhumane, and you know everybody got paid for what is it called? They got paid for
Reparations?
Reparations, except for black people. They don't want to even acknowledge it now. And
Do you
now,
think Kamala Harris
Trump policy
will
too.
Kamala Harris give reparations if she wins? Do you think?
I don't know.
Is that
But
important to you or no?
Right now, it's not the first thing on the table. You know what's the first thing on the table?
Get rid of
Is
Trump.
not only that, but it's just
He's not in office right now.
well, just making sure.
Yes, he is. Well, he's on his way. Get rid of Trump. That's President-elect Trump to you, Gary, Carl, whatever your name is.
I say
That
get rid of him. Take him to jail like everybody else who's a convicted felon.
Sir, the worst border crisis in American history, you guys. So how do we justify this? The worst border crisis in American history under Biden and Harris?
this is also an inherited thing, and people are coming across the border.
They inherited
How do you stop it?
they inherited
How do
a
you stop it?
50-year
How do
low
you stop
border
it? How do
crossings.
you suggest that it stops?
Reinstating Trump-era policies, Remain in Mexico, getting rid of catch and release.
Reinstating Trump.
And Tom Homan, this guy, he don't give a fuck. Governors, beware. He will arrest you if you get in the way of this. Hey, here's a hot take for you. Look, I'm about to say something you may not agree with. Don't feel obligated to agree with me since you like my content. Hey, I'm not going to say everything that you're like, oh yeah, that's a good point. So here's my hot take. As far as like when they're going to get the criminal aliens out of our country, when they're going after the cartels, when they're going after all these different groups, I wish they would live stream it because I want to watch. Like I said, hot take. Okay, back to this. We're almost done.
Huh?
Does that mean reinstating Trump?
Nope. In 2023, they introduced HR 2 that would have included those policies.
She will come up with something. It really has nothing to do with Biden-Harris. It has something to do with what she's going to do, and I believe she's going to stop.
Well, they were the
that.
one that undid the policies that were working.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
So what policies have they put in that's going to work, or that is working?
They could They could get rid of catch and release.
Because they didn't just take it out.
Well, I'll tell you.
It has to be replaced with something.
Do you want me to tell you what they did? So on week one, really quick, on week one, they reinstated catch and release. They pulled out of the Remain in Mexico agreement. They halted construction of the border wall. And all of that said, okay, great. If you come to the country, you can seek asylum in the country. That's why we ended up with.
I believe, I'm going to find the video, but I believe that Joe Biden said, rush the border. Come here. You're welcome. Everybody, rush the border. Gee, I wonder why they're rushing the border. Well, I wonder why they were rushing the border. The man's not even the president yet, and things are already happening. Can you imagine if right now we were all having to prepare ourselves for President Kamala Harris? What the fuck?
3 million people entering the country per year.
Well, you know what? A lot of white people are benefiting from it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, because they can hire them.
It's a corporate position.
Yeah, but we're not.
But shouldn't we be raising wages for the American people and not importing cheap foreign labor?
Under the Biden-Harris, wages have been raised.
No.
Under the Biden and Harris administration,
That's
wages
not
have
true.
been raised.
Real wages are down under this administration.
But it hasn't. All statewide, their wages are down. And you know who pays?
Do you mind if I
People
ask?
like you and me.
Yes.
We pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Do you mind if I ask?
the government doesn't have anything to do with raising the wages. They pass it on to us, just like PG&E,
Right.
energy people. Whenever there's a disaster or problem, we have to pay, which is the reason why we need to be taken care of, which is what Harris is going to do. Take care of the middle class people.
You're making
so
a
that
great
we
argument
can
to not import
take
cheap
care
labor.
of the world.
Did you hear what I said? You're making a wonderful argument to not import millions of people for cheap labor.
No, James. She didn't hear what you said. She only hears what's in her own head. These people are crazy. Well, that's the end of the video. These people are crazy. I can't believe that they actually feel this way. Can you imagine really thinking those things? So arrogant. So wrong. My goodness. Well, anyways, hey, this is a short, quick video. Thank you for watching. Have a good Monday. Ugh, it's Monday. And hey, be good to each other. Peace.